My name is Ravi Ozarkar, and in this presentation, I'm going to construct a 3D skid model. In the previous presentation, basically, you looked at the introduction to GT So now I'm just going to go in and open up GT and start creating a skid model. Okay. Now there's several ways to create a geometry inside GT So if you launch GT which can be accessed through clicking on your in your start button, and if you click on GT 2018 or GT 2018 R1, okay, you should be able to see the different ways of creating the geometry. You can create it using the model wizard, you can use GT menu, you can use the text input file or editor to create your model, or you can use AutoCAD or BricsCAD to create your model as well. In this case, what I'm going to do is first create a folder in which I want to store my model. Okay, so I'm just going to go to C:\data, and here I'm going to create a new folder called it skid model. Okay, and what we can do then is reference that directory by going to C:\data and then the skid folder. And there it is. Okay, so all your files would get stored in that working directory. Now, it could be a network path also if you don't want to store your files on the local drive. Okay, so next task is we're going to click on GT menu to start creating our geometry. Okay, what that'll do is it'll open up the graphical user interface for Strudel for you. Which would look something like this. Okay, now here I've done some customization to, as per my needs, to, as per to get a better color for the screen and so on. But you can use your own preferences also by going to view application look and feel, and you can click on any option that you like. Okay. Now, to introduce GT menu, as the name implies, it's a menu-driven system. So all your aim in this program is to go in and input the information in these menu items going from left to right. Okay, so you would go in and you could save the file. You can create members, plates, and then you can edit things and then run analysis, and then go to results and so on. Okay, in the center of your screen is the graphics window where you would actually see the 3D model being created. On the right hand side you have the data pane where the information related to any of these menu items would pop up. Okay, now the first thing that I'm going to do is create a nice grid. Okay, so here if you go to create joints and members using construction line, you could actually create a grid and assign properties to that grid lines. Okay, so here if I go to construction points and lines, if I go to points, here I can input the coordinates. Okay, so now if I say 0, 0, 0, this is actually 0 inches as the name as shown on the bottom left hand side corner. The unit system is inch pound. Okay, so to change the unit system in the graphics, you can go to units, active units, and here I can set the unit system to feet and my force unit system to kip if I wanted to do that. Let's go with meters and kilonewtons since you all are used to that unit system. Okay, so I'm just going to go to units of meters and kilonewtons. Now I'll start drawing my other node points. So I want to create a node point at x is equals to 1.6 meters. Then I want to create one at 0.8. Now, the spacings that I have for these grids, you can actually prepare an Excel spreadsheet that would help you out to create these grids. Okay, so I'm just going to open up Microsoft Excel and just type in the grid spacings, and you can go in and add those up to create, convert them to actual node coordinates. Okay. So here I am, I'm just going to say, okay, the first one is at 0, like we typed it in. Okay, then we have one at 1.6, then we have one at 0.8, then we have 0.4, 0.9, 1.3, and 0.8. Okay, so I'm just getting organized for my model creation, and I'm just going to add up these two items here, and then add up these two, okay, and then copy them down. So these are my spacings, okay. So I've created my 1.6 now. I'm just going to minimize the screen, okay. So the next one that I want is 1.4, okay. So let me just minimize this. I'm just going to say the next one is 1.4. Oops, I made a mistake. So it's not 1.4, it's 2.4. So I'm just going to click on undo to undo that point, and then type in the correct point number, which is 2.4. Okay, then we have 2.8. Okay, and you can hit the enter key to when you type it in, then 3.7, enter. Then we have 5, and next point is 5.8. Okay, so we've done our creation of our nodes. If we're okay with that, we can just say store those node points, and then in this dialog box there's an option to create lines and curves. Okay, so if you click on that, click on this button called generate lines and curves, you can basically create lines connecting these points. Okay, so this is right now just I'm just going to hit the store button to get that stored. Now this is just creation of the lines and the joints. Okay, we don't have any node points or any members created in this graphics, right? Next task is to go to create material properties and select the material property that you want to assign to your structure. In this case, I'm just going to select steel, click on done. Then next task is to go in and define your member properties. Okay, so if I click on create member properties, here you can specify where you want to get the properties from. Okay, so these are all your section tables available to you. In this case, I'm just going to go to AISC 14th edition code and choose a metric shape, which is W, let's say 100 by 19.3. Okay, click on store to get that store. Okay, this is the metric section, 100 by 19. Then I want another section, let's say a channel section. So I'm just going to go to C, AISC 14th metric, and I'm going to select a MC 75 by 10.6. Click on store. Next task is I'm going to go to AISC 7th edition, let's say, and pick a bar size, which is for my cables. I'm just going to pick maybe a 1/4 inch cable size. Okay, click on done. Okay, so we've selected some member properties. Okay, next task is to convert these lines that we have to actual beam members. Okay, so how do we do that? Click on create joints and members using construction. Okay, and here we can define what material we want to use for our members, define what shape you want to use, and then you can just click on any of these lines and have it generate members for you. Okay, so you can click on any line. I'm just going to click on each of these lines and generate my members. Now there's several ways you can create the same geometry inside GTStrudel. What I could have done is I could have created all the joints first and connected those using members if I wanted to do that. Okay,